primer, which may never be a book, but which will be instruction sets for any of those who wish to read and listen in the appropriate places. And this channeling this evening will be core information that takes you from the beginning to a place of the next chapter. This is where it begins. This is where the beginner would come. This is what you need as a refresher. For there is information that you don't know that will be presented even tonight. And so we say it begins. And this channel being transcribed is the one we wish to have transcribed, being the first chapter of the primer of Where Do I Begin? And we'll call this chapter Realizing Your Own Spirituality. Before we even begin the teaching, we have to discuss a premise. We have discussed before. You must hear this again. And we'll call this What is Truth? In your own reality, the walls you build around you called 3D, there is absolutes in truth, in math, in science. When you begin to break those three-dimensional walls down and get into what the system is of interdimensional things, and especially spiritual things, all the rules change. And so what I'm about to tell you may not sit well with all of you, for you will weigh them in a 3D way instead of a multiple D way. And here's what we say to you. Truth is relative to your path. And you'll say, Kryon, we don't like that. There must be one truth. I will tell you this, there is a core truth. And the core truth is this, that at the center of every atom in this universe of yours, if you could look and you could see and you could measure, you would find the love of God. That's the core energy. And you might say, well, how sweet, how syrupy. And I will say, oh no, I'm not talking about sweet. I'm talking about physics. There is an energy at the core that makes things work. And when you remove the love of God, it all collapses. You might say it's the space between the electron haze and the nucleus that keeps things moving and separated. More than you'll ever measure, more than you'll know. It's basic physics, and it's the love of God. That's the core truth. But the meaning of truth to a human being, let me define it, is when the human being marries his heart to the passion of God and realizes the family is there. An acknowledgement of search, if you wish, without knowing anything more. Willingness, intent, free choice to find out. That's truth. And so you will have multiple truths as you go around the room for multiple human beings. And you don't necessarily like that. You say there must be one truth, must be one doctrine, must be one building. And we say, how 3D of you, you don't understand. Inside each of you, you will discover the family. And the core of the family all has the same doctrine, and it comes from the love of God and the compassion of what you call spirit. And you never have to worry about that. So therefore, your truth is what you are doing when you follow your passion to create manifestation in your life for you. And what most human beings do not and will not understand is the system that is the glue between your truths. Difficult to explain in 3D, isn't it? Between the multiple truths of your quests for what you're supposed to do is a glue of family in synchronicity, all working together in the potentials to make indeed these things happen. There is more than it seems here. So let us begin with this premise. You are not looking for a doctrine. You are not looking for a prophet. You're looking for what you are here for. Do not be critical on yourself if you do not do what you are told by another human being, what they think is appropriate. For their truth is different than yours. Their search for God is different than yours. Blessed is the human being who searches for God in any way at all. Blessed is the human who sits ready to go and who says, God, tell me what it is I need to know. I want to chip away at the wall, the duality between 3D and multiple D. I want to chip away at the wall to find my own magnificence I know is behind it. All I have before me is what I've been taught. Show me what it is. That human being is following their truth. It's their passion. They are discovering their path and what they must do to find Spirit, to find God in their lives. That's truth. So sometimes it has to do with the fears you carry around. Each human being so individually specific. One is working on abundance issues. One is working on health issues. One is working on self-worth issues. I know who's here. I truly do. Oh, it would be a good time. Oh, wouldn't it be a good time? Would it be a good time to solve it all? And for you to stand up from this place different than you came in. I'm telling you, dear human being, that is the energy in the room. That's why I was built. That's why they call it a temple. That's why you're here. That's why I am here. And if you don't go out different, you've missed an opportunity. Because there's an entourage in here that's waiting to enhance you if you ask for it. And so the journey begins. The one that is of quest. And that says, what is my truth? What is it all about? And so we start at the beginning. And the beginning is not that far away. In your time frame, it's 1987. And that's all the farther I'm going to go back. Because that is the beginning of this energy, and all before it was an old energy. An old energy whose prophecies have dropped away. An old energies whose even fears are different than yours today. An old energy which is not the earth that you have now, if you noticed. And although some of you have heard this is for the one who is studying this for the first time. In 1987, an event occurred which was one special in history. The earth had reached a vibratory rate of neutrality. That is one where it could be pulled at a high level, an interdimensional level. All of the higher selves of all of the human beings that ever have been on the planet, are on the planet, and will be on the planet, were asked this question. Out of your linear time. Hard for you to understand, but this was a biggie. And the question was, do you want to go through with the old energy prophecy, the potentials of the old, or do you wish to move into the new, something that has never been prophesied, something that will create peace on earth, something that will create work for the Lemurians who are here, and the old souls that are here, and the lighthouses who are awakening now? And the answer was, we want to go forward. And as proof of this, dramatically, almost overnight, within years of this event, the geopolitical structure of the planet crumbled and changed. And countries who were at each other, who were powerful, fell over. And you had a future before you that no one saw and no one prophesied. You received the event for your country as I sit here of the 9/11, not in prophecy, not in Nostradamus, not in Revelation. And yet it will affect, as I have said before, 2 generations of what your leadership does here. You're in a new future. And so we say again that the harmonic convergence of